I am Mijal Kansara, Assistant Professor from Electrical Engineering Department of Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. In this video, we will discuss the topic medium transmission line from our chapter number 3, Transmission Line Modeling and Performance. In this video, we will discuss the performance of medium transmission line, and in this topic, we discuss method of representation of a medium transmission line. There are three methods for the representation of a medium transmission line. The first one is a end condenser method, second one is a nominal T method, and the third one is a nominal pi method. And all these three methods we will discuss with the help of the example. Now the first, we take a general discussion about the medium transmission line. In a medium transmission line have a length between 80 to 200 kilometers and the line voltage between a 20 kV to 100 kilowatt. The effect of the capacitance is considered in a medium transmission line. The capacitance of a medium transmission line cannot be neglected. Okay. The capacitance of the line is uniformly distributed over the entire length of line as shown in this figure. Okay, line is uniformly distributed over the entire length of the transmission line. The method of representation of transmission line is end condenser method, nominal T method, and nominal pi method. The first figure here, A, B, and C. A figure is a equivalent circuit of the end condenser figure. In this method, the capacitance is connected to the receiving end side. In the B figure, it is a nominal T method. In this method, the capacitance is resistance and series reactance is divided into two parts, and the capacitance is connected in between them. So here is the shape like a T, so it is called as a nominal T method. In this the third one is a nominal pi method. In this method, resistance and a series inductive reactance is noted as the same R or JXL, but the capacitance is divided into two parts and it is connected, one at the sending end, the second one is a receiving end. This is a general equivalent circuit. We will discuss in a deep in a next slide. Clear? The first one is the end condenser method, where the load compensator method, only one capacitor is used at the receiving end side. The second is a nominal T method, one capacitor is used, but the resistance and the series inductive reactance is divided into two parts, and then the capacitor is connected between them like this. And the nominal pi method, resistance and the series inductive reactance is remain same, but the capacitors are split into two, and the one capacitor is connected at the sending end, the second one is connected at the receiving end. Okay, clear? Now first we will discuss end condenser method. This is a general circuit for the medium transmission line using an end condenser method, and this is the equivalent circuit of the end condenser. Here below part is a neutral. First sending end voltage is Vs, Vr is a receiving end voltage, R is a series resistance, JXL is a series inductive reactance, and the capacitance shunt capacitive reactance is a JXC, and the shunt capacitive reactance is denoted as a minus JXC, and the current flow from the capacitance is IC. Clear? In this method, the capacitance of the line is concentrated at the receiving end, as we can see in this figure. The capacitance of the line is lumped or concentrated at the receiving end. The localizing the line capacitor at the load end over times the effect of the capacitance. Okay. Now, first we have take from this phasor diagram, take VR as a reference. So VR as a reference, so VR is in the direction of the x-axis, VR is taken as a x-axis, so VR is a reference, so we can write the VR is equal to VR angle 0, because VR is a reference, so there is a 0 angle, so we can write VR is equal to VR angle 0 is equal to VR plus J0. Now, due to the series reactance and the shunt capacitance, IR lag behind the voltage VR from some angle which is called as a phi R. Clear? So this line, VR this line and IR is this line. So there is an angle between VR and IR. IR is a lag behind VR by angle phi R. So IR can be written as IR is equal to IR angle minus phi R, because IR is lagging VR. So in general form it can be written as IR cos phi R minus J sin phi R. Clear? Now capacitive current IC is equal to VR by JXC. Shunt capacitive reactance can be written as like this. We all know that from Ohm's law we can write that I is equal to V by R or V by Z. So here capacitive reactance is a minus JXC, so we can write VR angle 0 and XC angle minus 90 because of the capacitive reactance. Okay, so we can write VR by XC and simplify this angle 0 90 0 minus 90, so 0 plus 90 is a 90 degree. So value of IC we get from this equation VR by XC angle 90. Now from this equation, at this point applying KCL, here incoming current is IS, outgoing current is IR plus IC, so we can write that IS is equal to IR plus IC. Clear? IR plus IC, because at this point incoming current is only IS, sending end current, but the leaving current is IR and also IC, so we can write that IS is equal to IR plus IC. The value of IR is a IR angle minus phi R and the value of IC is VR by XC angle 90. Clear? Now sending end voltage is equal to Vs is equal to VR plus Is into Z, where Z is equal to R plus JXL. Clear? So VR is equal to VR angle 0, Is is equal to Is angle phi S, and Z is equal to R plus JXL. Next, now we can understand this end condenser method by using one example. Now, example question is, a medium 3-phase transmission line 100 km long has the following constant. First is resistance per kilometer per phase is 0.15 ohm, reactance per kilometer per phase is 0.377 ohm, capacitive reactance per kilometer per phase is equal to 31.87 ohm. Receiving end line voltage is equal to 132 kV. Assume that total capacitance of line is localized at the receiving end alone. This term indicate that we use end condenser method for the simplification of this example. Clear? Because that clearly mentioned that assume the total capacitance of a line is localized at the receiving end alone. Capacitor is localized at the receiving end alone. Clear? The line is delivering a load of 72 megawatt at the 0.8 power factor lagging. Now given data is receiving and voltage is 132 kV, so 132 into 10 raised to 3 and angle is 0, so we can write in a rectangular form like this: 132 into 10 raised to 3 plus j omega. Now given that point power receiving end power is PR is equal to 72 megawatt and the power factor cos phi r is 0.8 lag, so phi r is equal to cos inverse 0.8 and its value is 36.86. Now given that the resistance per kilometer per phase is 0.15, so and the length of the transmission line is 100 kilometer, so we can find resistance per phase by multiplying the length of the line. So 0.15 into 100 is equal to 15 kilometer per phase, because they gave us a value of resistance per kilometer per phase, so we have to multiply its length with the resistance value. So 0.15 into 100 is equal to 15 ohm per phase. Seeing reactance per kilometer per phase is a XL in XL value per kilometer per phase, so we have to also calculate multiply length of the transmission line this value, so 0.377 into 100, so 37.7 ohm per phase, and XC is equal to 31.87 into 100. Seen because capacitance reactance per kilometer per phase is given 31.87, so its value is 31.87 ohm per phase. Now from this power equation we know that the power PR is receiving end power, because we have when given power value 72 megawatt. So by using a power value we can find the receiving end current, because from this equation PR is equal to root 3 VR IR cos phi. PR is also known, VR is also known, cos phi is also known. So by using this formula we can find IR. So IR equation becomes PR upon root 3 VR cos phi. PR value is 72 megawatt, so 72 into 10 raised to 6 divided by root 3 into 132 into 10 raised to 3 into 0.8. So value of IR is 393.64 ampere. Now we are taken VR as a reference and IR is lag behind some voltage, so IR is written as IR angle minus phi r, because it is a lagging from the VR. So phi r value is 36.68, so IR becomes 393.64 angle minus 36.86. This polar form can be converted into rectangle form and its value should be 314.95 minus j 236.12. Clear? Now we can find sending end, before that we can find the capacitive current. Okay, capacitive current is IC is equal to VR by JXC. Value of VR is 132 into 10 raised to 3 divided by root 3, because phase voltage given, we have given line voltage, so it must be converted into the phase voltage. V phase is equal to VL by root 3 and line value is given that 132 kV, so phase value is 132 into 10 raised to 3 divided by root 3, and the JXC value here, XC value is 3187, so put it here minus JXC. By simplifying this we get the value of capacitive current IC is equal to 23.91 and angle 90. Now sending end voltage, sending end current is the summation of receiving end current plus capacitive current, because here IS from this point applying KCL, IS is equal to IR plus IC. So value of IR we know, IC is also calculated, so we can find IS. So IR value is this 314.95 minus J 236.12 here, plus IC value in rectangular form. For plus or minus means addition or subtraction, compulsory we have to convert the quantity in a rectangular form, and for the multiplication and division the quantity should be in a polar form. Clear? So by calculating this two, IS we get is this quantity 379.77 angle minus 33.97. Now sending end voltage Vs is equal to Vr plus Is into Z, where Z is equal to R plus J XL. We have value of Vr, we have value of Is and the value of Z. So for the multiplication of these two terms, this rectangular term should be converted into the polar form. By converting into the polar form, multiplication should be done. How it should be done? 379.77 into 40.57. So magnitude term in a multiplication and angle term should be in a plus or minus. Okay, so here see by how this simplification done. So multiplication of these two terms and it get 15407.26, and these two sum in a addition or subtraction. So like this, minus 33.97 plus 68.3. So by minus we get the 34.33. The magnitude term in a multiplication and this angle term in a plus or minus. Now for adding, here addition is present, so all the term, these two term are converted into rectangular term. So this polar form converted into rectangular form, and we get 76210.0J plus 12723.36 plus 8689.05J. These two get addition and these two get addition, so value is this, and then converted into the polar form, and this is a phase value. We required line voltage, so it multiply with √3, and this is a phi s. This value is phi s, so phi s is a 33.97 plus this angle, so we get 39.58, and cos phi value is 0.77 lakh. Now voltage regulation, Vs minus Vr upon Vr. Vs we find how much? 154.75 into 10 raised to 3 because of kV, divided by √3, minus 132 into 10 raised to 3 divided by √3, divided by receiving end voltage, and we get this term. And the transmission efficiency 3 Vr IR cos phi r upon 3 Vs Is cos phi r. Put all the value Vr IR cos phi r, Vs Is cos phi is, and we get the value 91.82. Now next is nominal T method for the performance of a medium transmission line. In the nominal T method, the whole line capacitance is assumed to be the concentrate at the middle point of the line. The half of the line resistance and reactance are lumped on the both the side, and the full charging current flow over the half of the line. So the total resistance, series resistance, and the series inductive reactance is divided into two parts like this, R2 r by 2 jxl by 2 on the left side, and other r by 2 and jxl by 2 on the right side, and in between them the capacitance is connected. The voltage across the capacitance is IC, charging current flow from the capacitance is IC, Vs is a sending end voltage, Vr is a receiving end voltage, IR is a receiving end current, and Is is a sending end current. Okay, so this is the equivalent circuit for the nominal T method. Now we draw the phasor diagram. First, take VR as a reference voltage. So VR is in the direction of the x-axis. So from VR, IR is a lag behind some voltage from the VR. So this angle is a phi r. So IR can be drawn like this. IR is some angle lag behind VR. So draw IR. Clear? Now first, from this first half voltage drop can be calculated and draw. So the first is IR into R divided by 2 is a voltage drop across this half resistance, and this is in a phase with the current IR. So this line and this line is in a parallel direction. Now the voltage drop across this term jxl by 2 is 90 degree leading from this potential voltage drop. So this can be drawn like this, and this is a voltage is VC. This voltage VC we get by connecting this 2 point, this point and this point, we get a VC. Sorry, this point and this point, from the 0 to this point we connect line and we get the voltage value VC. Now we have to find the voltage VS. So again, the voltage drop across this resistance and this series inductive reactance can be added like this. So now up to this point the voltage drop is in parallel due to the sending end current Is. So Is into R by 2 is parallel with this. So this voltage drop is parallel with this current phasor. So now voltage drop in this term jxl by 2 due to the current Is is 90 degree leading from this phasor. So drawn like this, and by connecting this point and this point we get the sending end voltage Vs. This is a phasor diagram for the nominal T method, and here the value of IC, which is equal to difference between these two, Is and IR. Clear? Because at this point applying KCL, Is is equal to IR plus IC. So Is minus IR is equal to the IC. Now VR is taken as a reference, so it can be write as VR is equal to VR angle 0, and it can be converted into rectangle form like this, VR plus J0. Now IR is a lag behind some angle phi r from VR, so it can be write as IR angle minus phi r. So here minus indicate that it is a lagging, and it can be written in this term IR cos phi r minus J sin phi r. Now voltage across the capacitor VC is equal to VR plus IR into R by 2 plus IR into JXL by 2. Voltage drop in a resistance and this inductor due to the receiving end current. Okay, so taking IR common, it becomes R plus JXL by 2. Now converting into the polar form, VR is equal written in polar form VR angle 0, and this IR can be written as IR angle minus phi r in bracket R plus JXL by 2, and this is the equivalent of VC angle theta C. and IC, value of IC is VC divided by minus JXC, and VC is written as VC angle theta C, and for the capacitance reactance, capacitive reactance, it can be written as XC angle minus 90, and so it is equal to IC angle theta C dash. Theta C dash is equal to theta C dash is equal to theta C plus 90. Okay, and at this point, applying a KCL rule, IS is equal to IR plus IC. IR, value of IR is IR angle phi R, and for the IC, value is IC angle theta C dash. So in equivalent of this term, IS is equal to IS angle plus or minus phi S. Now sending end voltage can be written as Vs is equal to Vc plus Is into R by 2 plus Is into JXL by 2. Sending end voltage is equal to capacitive voltage plus voltage drop in these two terms due to the sending end current. Okay, so Vs is equal to Vc plus Is into R plus JXL by 2. So Vs is equal to Vc angle theta C plus Is angle plus or minus phi S into R plus JXL by 2. Now this method we will understand by using one example. So example number 3, the question is the medium 3-phase transmission line of 100 km long has the following constants. The resistance per kilometer per phase is 0.15 ohm, reactance per kilometer per phase is 0.377 ohm, capacitive reactance per kilometer per phase is 31.87 ohm. Receiving end line voltage is given, it is equal to 132 kV. Assume the total capacitance of a line is localized at the middle point of line. Here clearly given that the capacitance of the line is localized at the middle point of line, so we take the nominal T method for the calculation. So, and the other data is given is the line is delivering load of 72 megawatt at the 0.8 power factor lagging. This is an equivalent circuit for the nominal T method, and this is a phasor diagram for the nominal T method. So the first is given receiving end voltage 132 kV and power factor is also given is 0.8 lag. So from this phi R is equal to cos inverse 0.8 and which is equal to 36.86. Now resistance, here given that resistance per kilometer per phase, but we have to find the value of resistance per phase, so multiply this value with the length of transmission line which is given that 100 kilometer. So R per resistance per phase is 0.15 into 100 is equal to 15 ohm per phase. Same for the XL and XC. Now also given that receiving end power and which is equal to 72 megawatt. So from this equation PR is also given, VR we know 132 kV and cos phi R is also known 0.8. From this equation we can find the value of IR by using this equation PR upon root 3 VR cos phi R, and we get the value of 393.64 ampere. By using a calculator we can get this value. Okay, now we get the magnitude of the IR, but the angle of IR is minus phi R and which is equal to minus 36.86. This is in the polar form. Now converting this polar form into the rectangular form by using a calci, and we get 314.95 minus J 236.2. 12. Now next we have to find the value of capacitance voltage Vc. Value of Vc we can find by using this equation. Vc is equal to VR angle 0 plus IR into angle minus phi r into R plus JXL by 2. From this equation, Vc is equal to VR summation of VR plus voltage drop across these two terms, and the voltage drop across this term too due to the IR. So summation of these two terms, but we get value of Vc. So Vc is equal to VR plus voltage drop in R plus R and JXL by 2 due to the receiving end current. So putting this all value, we are here using 132 into 10 raised to 3 divided by root 3, because we know that the phase value is VL by root 3. 132 into 10 raised to 3 is the value of line voltage. We have to use a phase voltage, so here divide by root 3, and the value, put the value of IR, phi r and R, XL and 2. By simplifying this terms, we get the value of Vc is 83125.57 and angle 2.87 watt. Now next is to find a capacitance voltage. For the equation of the capacitance voltage is Vc upon jXc. Vc value is this and Xc value is this 3187. So put in this equation and we get the value of IC like this, 26.08 angle 92.87, and applying the KCL at this point, IS is equal to IC plus VR. So put it down in this equation, value of IR and IC, and we get the value of IS. Now final equation for finding a value of the Vs. Vs is equal to, from this equation, Vs is equal to summation of these two voltage, means voltage drop across this terminal due to the sending end current Is and the capacitance voltage. So Vs is equal to Vc plus Is angle plus or minus pi s into R plus JXL by 2. Put it down all the values we get in a previous. So by calculating this, we get the final answer of Vs is 89.73 angle 5.43 kilowatt per phase. Clear? This is a phase voltage. We have to convert into line voltage by multiplying root 3 terms. So the line voltage of the sending end voltage is 155.41 angle 5.43. Now we have to find phi s. Phi s can be find using a phi r plus this angle getting from the sending end voltage. So 33.81 plus 5.43, which is equal to 39.24. So cos phi s is equal to cos of this angle, so cos 39.24, which is equal to 0.77 lakh. Now next is voltage regulation. Voltage regulation equation is Vs minus Vr upon Vr into 100. Now put it down, value of Vs, Vr and Vr, and we get value is 17.73. Now percentage transmission efficiency, equation of this transmission efficiency is 3 Vr IR cos phi r upon 3 Vs Is cos phi s into the 100. Now put all values Vr IR cos phi r, Vs Is cos phi s that we can find in the previous. So transmission efficiency we get is 92.1%. Okay. Now next topics is performance of medium transmission line by using a nominal pi method. The whole line capacitance is divided into the two halves. In this method, resistance and series inductance are not halved. Line capacitance is divided into the two halves. One half being lumped at the sending end and the other half being lumped at the receiving end. This sum. One half is at the sending end and other half at the receiving end. So this is look like this pi term. So it is called as a pi. Nominal pi method. The line resistance and the reactance are lumped between the capacitance. So here resistance and the inductance value remained unchanged. Okay, now XC1 reactance of a shunt capacitive reactance is a 1/2 pi FC1, and here capacitance value is half, so it can be write as a 0.5 C. So it is a 2XC, and again XC2 is equal to 1/2 pi FC2, and the value of C2 is a 0.5 C, and so it is becomes a 2XC. Means whole line capacitor is divided into two halves, and the value of this is a 0.5 C, and their capacitive reactance is becomes a 2XC. Capacitance is decreases, so its capacitive reactance is increased 2 times. Capacitance is decreasing half time, so capacitive reactance is increasing 2 times. Clear? So performance of a medium transmission line. Take VR as a reference. So VR means receiving end voltage is taken as a reference. So receiving end current is a lag behind some angle from the VR, which is equal to the phi r. In this figure, applying a KCL rule at this point, we can write equation as IS is equal to IL plus IC2, or applying this KCL at this point, we can write IL plus IC1 is equal to IR. Here IS is a sending end current, IR is a receiving end current, IL is a current flow from the resistance and this series inductive reactance, and the IC1 and IC2 are a capacitive current flowing from the capacitor 2 and 1 respectively. So before writing a value of IL, we have to calculate the value of IC1, and IC1 can be get by by equation VR by JXC1. So VR is a reference phasor, so it can write as a VR angle 0, and JXC1 can be write as XC1 angle minus 90 degree. So VR by XC1 is a magnitude, so it can remain same, and angle can be written as 0 plus 90, so 90 degree, and IC2 is equal to the VS. Here capacitance C1 is connected across the load side, means receiving end side, so here take VR voltage, and IC2 connected at the sending end side, so here a voltage is taken as a VS. Clear? So IC2 is a VS by JXC2, so VS angle theta s, and XC2 can be written as XC2 angle minus 90 degree. So VS by XC2 magnitude, and angle is theta s plus 90 degree. Now applying a KCL rule at this point, we can write as KCL rule state that summation of current incoming to the node is equal to the current leaving to the node. Here current incoming is a IL, is equal to current leaving node is a IR plus IC1. So put it down, value of the IR and IC1. Value of IR is IR angle minus theta R, sorry, phi R plus VR by XC1 angle 90 degree. So it can be written as IL theta S. Now this current IS can be found as IS is equal to applying KCL at this point. So current entering into the node is a IS and the current leaving to the node is a IL and IC2. So IS is equal to the IL plus IC2, and the value of IL is IL angle theta L plus value of IC2 is a VS by XC2 angle theta plus 90. Now value of VS can be found by using this equation. VS is equal to VR plus IL into Z. VR plus voltage drop in these two parameters, and this can be written as a Z because Z is equal to R plus JXL. So this is a VS into angle theta S. Now this nominal pi method can be understood by using one example. Same value can be taken for all the example. A medium three-phase transmission line of the 100 km long has a following constant. Resistance per kilometer per phase is a 0.515 ohm. Reactance per kilometer per phase is a 0.377 ohm. Capacitive reactance per kilometer per phase is 31.87 ohm. Receiving end line voltage is 132 kV. Assume that the half of capacitance of the line is lumped at the both sides. This statement indicate that we have to use a nominal pi method, because state that the half of capacitance of line is a lump at the both side, means sending end side also and the receiving end side also. So we have to use the nominal pi method equations for the solution. And the line is delivering a load of 72 megawatt at a 0.8 power factor lagging. So write receiving end voltage VR is a 132 into 10 raised to 3. Then power factor at receiving end cos phi r is a 0.8. Now from this phi r is equal to cos inverse 0.8, and which is equal to 36.86. Now resistance, inductive reactance and capacitive reactance are multiplied with 100 because all the value given is per kilometer per phase. So we have to find the kilometer, so only resistance or reactance per phase, so multiply with its length of the transmission line, and we get this all the value. Here we have to find the value of XC1 and XC2, and which is equal to twice of the mean capacitive reactance given in the data. So XC1 and XC2 is equal to twice of XC, and which is equal to 6374 ohm per phase. Now receiving end power PR is equal to √3 VR IR cos phi. All the value given except IR. So from this equation we can find the value of IR by using this equation. IR is equal to PR upon √3 VR cos phi r. Value, put it down in this equation. Value of value of PR is equal to 72 megawatt. So 72 into 10 raised to 6, √3 into 132 into 10 raised to 3 into 0.8, and the value of IR we get is 393.64 ampere. This is the only magnitude. We have to write it down with the angle. So angle is this, and use negative sign for the lagging indication. So IR can be written as IR angle minus phi r, and magnitude is 393.64, and angle is minus 36.86. This is in the form of polar, but we have to write in a rectangular form, and it can be converted by using a calculator, and we get the value 314.95 minus J236.12. 12. Now first we have to calculate the value of IC1, then IC2, and then line voltage, and then sending and first find IC1, then IC2, then IL, then IS, and then VS. Clear? So first find IC1, and equation for the IC1 is a VR upon JXC1. Put it down all the value that we already have. So the value of IC1 is this 11.95 angle 90.8. From this, value of IL can be calculated. IL is equal to IR plus IC1. IR value is this, IC1 value from this equation. So IL we get is 386.58 angle 35.44. Clear? From this IL and Z we have to find VS. So VS is equal to VR plus IL into Z. Put all the value that we already calculate, and the final value of VS is 89.78 angle 5.43 kilowatt. This is a phase value, we have to convert into the line voltage, so multiply with the √3. Now we have to find the value of IS. So before calculation of IS, we have required the value of IC2, and IC2 value is VS upon JXC2. Put value of VS and XC2, and we get the value of IC2 is a 1408 angle 95.43 ampere, and the IS is equal to IL plus IC2, and the final value of IS is 377.52 angle minus 33.82. Now find phi S. Phi S is equal to phi L plus this angle 5.43. So it is equal to 39.25, and it is cos phi S is equal to 0.77 lakh. So the step is first find IC1, then find IL 1, 2, then find VC, VS, then IC2, and then IS. These are the interconnected terms. First IC1 can be found. So from this you can find IL by using IR plus IC1. Once IL is found, we can find the VS by using this equation VR plus IL into Z. Okay, VS is complete, but we have to find now IS. So IS is equal to IL plus IC2. So IC2 value is required. So IC2 can be found by using this equation. IC2 is equal to VS by JXC2, and the VS value is from this equation. Clear? Now voltage regulation. Voltage regulation equation is VS minus VR upon VR into the 100, and put all the value VS and VR, and we get the final value is 17.80. Voltage regulation is 17.80, and transmission line efficiency is 3 VR IR cos phi R upon 3 VS IS cos phi R into 100. Put all the value VR IR cos phi R, VS IS cos phi S from the previous slides, and we get the transmission line efficiency is 91.96. This is a comparison between the end condenser method, nominal T method, and nominal pi method. These are the given quantity PR and VR for the all the same. The value of the current IR that we calculate is also same for the all three method. Cos phi R is also same for the method. PS that we can calculate from using VS into IS. VS that can be found by us. IS is also cos phi S, also percentage voltage regulation and percentage transmission efficiency. So sending end voltage is similar for the approximate similar for the all the method. Power factor is same for the all three method. Percentage voltage regulation is lower in the N condenser method and highest for the nominal pi method, and the percentage transmission efficiency is highest in a nominal T method and lower for the N condenser method. This is a general comparison, not asked in your GTU exam. Okay, thank you.